Farfetch'd populations have been rapidly declining across the world. Most of the species can be found in traveling swarms to protect themselves as a flock. As a Pokemon species, I love Farfetch'd, because they are delicious. Although there are now heavy fines for hunting them out of season, I did enjoy their tasty meat as a child in Kanto. The leek they carry just makes it so tempting to want to cook them rather than train them. But I digress. Trainers should train, love, and cherish their Farfetch'd and raise them into competent fighters. It gives the dark meat a great kick to it when added into a soup. Getting back to the point, Farfetch'd are very effective combatants of digestive problems when eaten on rotisserie. It's actually not even my fault that I want to eat these birds so much. Psychological studies have shown that Farfetch'd holding leeks look so much more appetizing. A follow-up study was performed and Farfetch'd were given pocket knives disguised as a leek. The Farfetch'd proved to look less tasty to predators and proved to be lethal in combat. The normal leek would only increase the critical hit ratio of a Farfetch'd, while the blades doubled the attack power and significantly increased the odds for landing a critical hit. While the research with the leek blades has ended and were removed, if Farfetch'd ever acquired even a remotely more powerful weapon, it would be a terrible force to behold. Making fun of Farfetch'd may be a pastime among people today, but Farfetch'd weren't always the butt of Pokemon jokes. There are many old legends pertaining to Farfetch'd's amazing prehensile wings grasping objects other than a useless stick, such as Skarmory feathers, Mamoswine tusks, and even Absol scythes. Because of this, scientists hypothesize that the weapon of a Farfetch'd is imprinted on birth. This led to an over-military project based around teaching newborn Farfetch'd to use weapons, such as assault rifles, then led by General Surge. However, because Farfetch'd greet their trainers by lightly using their stick, this translated to Farfetch'd lightly spraying bullets at their trainers' faces. With more human casualties than Farfetch'd casualties, the military considered this to be one of their most embarrassing projects ever, and demoted General Surge all the way down to lieutenant. Wow, I sure went off on a tangent. Anyways, Farfetch'd are among the most endangered species of Pokemon on the planet. Not only is a Farfetch'd stick almost completely useless versus its natural predators, they are also very slow flyers, which makes them easy targets for poachers. It doesn't help that Farfetch'd are among the most tasty Pokemon as well, so in 1996, the Kanto Congress passed the Farfetch'd Act, which set up farms so Farfetch'd meat could finally be legal. While this still failed to help Farfetch'd much from its natural predators, some breeders have been attempting to reintroduce Farfetch'd to the wild, and hey, at least we can now legally have a delicious roasted Farfetch'd at Thanksgiving dinner. Farfetch'd are well known to always be carrying some sort of stick. Whether it be just a branch off a tree or a vegetable, Farfetch'd are very fond of their stick and will defend it valiantly. Farfetch'd's wings are designed so it can hold its stick firmly, where each wing has multiple slits on the edge of it creating opposable fingers. Farfetch'd's official Pokédex entry states that it can't live without the stalk it holds. That's why it defends the stalk from attackers with its life. However, Farfetch'd are known to eat their sticks in emergency situations, although they immediately begin searching for a replacement. As humans, it seems weird how a Pokemon can be so attached to a lifeless object. I went out to do some research on Farfetch'd's strange obsession and to hopefully find out what exactly happened if Farfetch'd were to lose its stick. Don't worry, though, no Farfetch'd were harmed during my research. I discovered that the Farfetch'd's sticks are a symbol of honor and any Farfetch'd without one is seen as an outcast, or insignificant if compared to other Farfetch'd with a stick. Seeing as the stick is also a Farfetch'd's primary weapon, a Farfetch'd wielding a stick can easily force a stickless Farfetch'd to do its bidding. I believe that the statement "it can't live without the stalk" is because of how some Farfetch'd become very depressed when at loss of a stick, and could end up dying prematurely due to the treatment from other Farfetch'd. We were supposed to research Marowak. However, it seems that Farfetch'd is much more dependent on its leek than Marowak its bone. Farfetch'd knows numerous moves which requires it to wield its stick appropriately, such as Leaf Blade and Fury Cutter, which really goes to show how versatile this Pokémon is with its chosen weapon. A possible reason Farfetch'd depends on its sleek so much is that it's close to being born with it, despite this going against nearly every law of nature, from the law of gravity to the law of being born without having a plant placed in your arms. It's been seen before that when someone or something is introduced to something as a young gun, it tends to stick with it or them for the rest of their life, embedding that presence into each and every fiber of its being. Some wonder if Farfetch'd could survive without a leak, but let's face it, it can hardly survive even with a leak. Farfetch'd is so unequipped for combat that it's a wonder how they've managed to survive for so long. Thankfully, their mating ritual isn't shows of strength or endurance, but rather shows, dances, and fancy stick tricks to attract their mates.